Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome. It is time for Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm so glad you're joining me today. It's a little bit of a cool fall day here. Yesterday, I guess I didn't see it, but the Aurora Borealis is being seen here in the northern Colorado area. I guess I wouldn't know because, of course, I'm not allowed on Facebook, but Jason was telling me that on Facebook there was lots of pictures from our area of the lights. And I guess we're supposed to be able to see them tonight as well here in northern Colorado. And immediately, of course, my brain goes, why? Why? Why are we seeing them here? I mean, I've been in Colorado a long time now, long time. And we saw them. I feel like it was last year. Maybe it was the year before. And that was like the first time we'd ever seen them here. And now, are we going to be seeing this every year? I hate to be so suspicious, but why? I thought the northern lights were just precisely that, the northern lights, the Alaska area. I mean, we saw them, actually, I didn't even see them on Vancouver Island, but I knew that people did see them on Vancouver Island occasionally. But now all of a sudden we can see them in Colorado. And I guess I'm just wondering, are these real, or is this like some kind of HARP manufactured Northern Lights type of scenario here? Is it because of 5G? Is it like, I don't know, you guys, I hate to be this way, but really, did we grow up seeing the Northern Lights everywhere? No, we did not. And so I guess I'm just a little suspicious. You know me, I'm just that way. But I just think, is this some like kind of radioactive weird result because of 5G and we're all staring at the beautiful lights when really it's like poisoning us? Oh, I don't know. But I am glad you're here. We're going to talk about some stuff today. Every time, I start preparing for the show, I'm like, okay, what does the algorithm want me to pay attention to today, right? Yesterday it was Dave Portnoy, right? Oh, is this I'm just so over it, you guys. I'm so over it. So there was a couple things that I just kind of like, I'm not even going to talk about it because I'm like, this is what they want me to look at. Okay, I'm going to start looking at things that I got to go, digging for. There was a top story about artificial intelligence today that I want to talk about because I think it's actually deeply personal, this topic of artificial intelligence taking over creativity in the form of music now. So we knew it was there. We knew it was there. I've been following Justine Bateman, whom I love. I think her take on things is really great and refreshing. She's been talking about AI taking over the film industry and just how tragic that is. I mean, there's a lot going on in the film industry. First of all, is anybody making any original movies ever again, asking for the population? Because we're kind of sick of the Garfield trilogy. I think they're on like the 10th Garfield movie. Like these franchises, I don't know, man. Like I feel like you got to be kind of low IQ to really enjoy like the 14th Hangover. Like the reason why we like art is because it attaches, we can connect to it. We connect to it and it makes our own personal human story feel real, feel validated. You feel connected when you connect to art. Like somebody sees your human condition, and more than one person, because if they're making a movie about it, if they're painting about it, if they're making a song about it, it means that, we're all kind of experiencing similar things in life, and it's inspiring. It is, it's connectivity. It is culture. When a group of people can connect to music or to art or to a book, it validates your culture. And so today in the news, we heard about the first artificial intelligent, I'm not calling it an artist, you guys. I'm not calling this done by an artist. Machine-made song that has reached the #1 position. So here's the news on that. Check out this clip.
This morning, a music industry first.
You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk.
The AI-generated country hit Walk My Walk by Breaking Rust, hitting #1 on a Billboard chart. The song, released less than a month ago, already streamed more than 3 million times, beating out actual humans for the top spot on Billboard's country digital song sales chart. The success getting mixed reactions.
It's made by a robot. It's an AI generated song, and I'm not sure how to feel about that.
As a graduate of a music industry program, this is fascinating to me. As an artist, this is absolutely insane to me.
Billboard acknowledging Breaking Rust is an AI act, saying it's one of at least 6 to chart in the past few months alone.
Let go, let God give him control.
Like Zanaya Monet, the AI R&B and gospel crooner created by songwriter Talisha Nikki Jones, amassing more than 44 million streams since her.
Yeah, I'm going to need to see the receipts on that. I'm an AI artist. I just use AI as a tool to make my music. Stop it. You're a cheater. You're a cheater. You're cheating. And you're cheating yourself too. Because you're not pushing yourself. If that's something that you really feel compelled to express, a song, music, that's a craft. And you have to feed your craft. You have to practice your craft. You have to build your craft. And it takes perseverance. And guess what? As you're building your craft, it builds you. Because it's a personal thing. It's a very personal thing, and you're going to get criticized. Yes. People are not going to like your art. And that is something that you've got to deal with as an artist. It actually makes you a stronger artist. You get better at your craft because you're either reaching people or you're not. If you're making AI music, I don't know. What are you doing? What are you doing? The music industry has gone through such a huge transformation, and it's been challenged by technology again and again and again. And I don't think they've ever really gotten it right. In the early days of musicians, the record companies, these labels, these distribution, they were taking advantage of artists. So it wasn't right then. Then we got, these corporations involved, and they really made like assembly line type of music. That's not right. We finally have actually the tools for artists to become their own distribution, to be in control of their own art. Except for we don't, because algorithms are controlled and public relations outfits control everything. Like everybody wants a clawback off of something they have no right to have a clawback on. These are artists, and they are, a lot of them are connected to a higher faculty of creativity. Some artists, they describe their songwriting process as something like of a channeling, right? It's almost like they just get in a flow state, and they feel things about the way things are in the world, or heartbreak, or whatever that moves them. And then they are compelled to get it out, through playing their instrument. It's a connection too between the instrument and the person who's playing the instrument. I mean, you can have the same setup, right? The same setup on a guitar, the same brand of guitar, everything the same strings, the same everything. But why is it that that it's Stevie Ray Vaughan playing? Even if it's the same song. Why is it that that it's maybe somebody like Santana playing the guitar? Because nobody plays quite like them. And that we don't understand fully. We don't fully understand where artistic expression comes from. And but we can feel it. We're moved by it. It's a feeling. And this is just so, gosh, I don't know what other word to use, but like it's just downright offensive and gross. It's gross. It's really gross. I'll explain more when we come back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. I'm so glad you're here.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Did you know that you can join us in the Naturally Inspired community? You get free health coaching, you get my health text line, you get Tuesday night weekly wellness workshops, all when you make your first purchase of just $50. When you purchase $50 worth of product, you get access to the product line with 15% off forever. So 15% off retail. It's not a renewing membership. It's a one-time purchase of $50. You get the membership for free. That's 15% off all wellness products from our partnered wellness product line. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com today and join us. You'll be so glad that you did. Let me explain. So I'm married to a musician. Right? We got married when we were 20. I'll tell you, one of the reasons I married him was because of his voice, for sure. I was a groupie of sorts, I guess. And it takes a lot to put out a song because it's very personal. When someone's an artist, you know, you're working it out. You're walking this line of trying to express without making it cheesy. You want to connect to people, but not in a way where they miss the story. Like, it is a effort, and you're in a very vulnerable position when you do that. And you've got to support people in their efforts of doing that because they are shedding their inhibitions. It doesn't come naturally for a lot of musicians. The music may come naturally. Maybe they're great at playing guitar and maybe they're great at songwriting, but they still question themselves. Everybody wants to be liked, so it's a process. It's really, like I said, it's very personal, and you're taking a big risk when you put your music out there. And so when people just think that they can machine generate music, and then they're like, yeah, I wrote this song, it's offensive. It's offensive, okay? Because there are musicians out there right now gutting it out, right? My son's one of them. They play live every single weekend. They're hauling equipment in and out of the truck, in and out of our practice studio. They're trying to get the right songs. They're trying to make sure that they have a set list that pleases the crowd. They're trying to make you feel something live. They're putting in their dues. And Jason did the same thing, put in the dues. I packed some of the equipment. I know it's an effort. You don't do it because it's convenient. You do it because it means something to you and you're trying to impact people. And thank God we have music. Can you imagine, how many songs out there have saved somebody's life because they're telling the song of the story of the troubles? I mean, just think of the blues. You think an AI generated song is going to impact you? I mean, did you see this song? It's freaking cheesy as all get out. First of all, it's cheese. And don't you feel the voice isn't just, there's something off. There's no pain in that voice. There's no craftsmanship in that voice. This, for musicians to be able to make art and do it for a living, is difficult. And AI music is just going to make it even more difficult. I want you to understand that, I understand using tools to build music, technology and tools. But come on, man. What are you doing here? What are you doing? You're producing slop at this point, right? You're just putting something together. Oh, yeah. Here, I'm a musician now. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You want to hear something raw? Have you ever heard some of these songs? We always used to have fun doing this. Jason and I would get outtakes or early songs from bands that we loved, just to hear what they truly sound like before they got produced. Because many people don't realize, music's a collective effort. That's another piece of the beauty of music, is that you got to interact with other people and collaborate to make art. And that's difficult. Keeping a band together with all these different personalities and putting the art first and letting your ego go. Like, this is such a complex process of making music. I don't do it. I could never do it. But I know people who do. And I know how difficult it is. And so here's a raw cut I wanted to share with you. Everybody knows U2, right? Not a big fan of Bono myself. I'm sure we have that in common. But I just want you to hear what a young band sounds like, because I get to hear them almost every weekend here when they're out practicing in my in my space. But I love it, and I love that they're practicing. But here's the reality. And this is a good cut compared to some of the other stuff I've heard from U2. But take a listen.
Oh, late at night when the motion beats down, I feel so low, oh no. I lived a life for 1,000 years, such a cow, oh no. I said, oh no, baby, don't, what you got doing for can't go on. She says, oh no, baby, don't, image of reality is big, you know. You think you're so high, and the meaning's way down low. Take your time, feel fine, oh lady, my soul's on high.
That's Bono. A little pitchy. He's a little pitchy, right? Because he's a human being. Because he's actually a human being who brought his friends together and put their egos aside to try to build something and put out some art that would impact some people. And now we're willing to give this up. Like, we're really going to lay down to artificial intelligence when it comes to our art. Like I said, we have a great opportunity here with technology. It allows us to distribute our own art. Of course, we've got pushback on that, of course, because the people who want the claw back, the corporations that seem to be ruining everything, including capitalism. The corporations are ruining capitalism. Corporations are ruining a lot of things. And we're letting them because of convenience. Well, this is convenient. You know what's not convenient? Playing the same song 50 times in a row because you got to get it right. I agree with you. It's not that convenient, is it? But that's the process. And the process is worth it. I think there's a reason why, our kids are listening to a lot of our music. They're having a hard time connecting to some of the newer pop artists and stuff like that because it's so synthesized. It's so fake. Everything is fake. And I think people, you should be looking for grit. We should be looking for grit because you know what? The more we accept this fakeness, the more we look at ourselves like we're not good enough. Yeah, I can't do that. Instead of being inspired by things, we're going to be deflated. I'll never be as good as the AI, or what is it, Rusty Buckets, or what's the name of that band or that AI? I don't even want to, it's not a band. Okay? It's a ripoff, actually. Because what it is it's a generated data collection, synthesized version of human art. That's what it is. It's not creative. It's copycat. And as if it's not bad enough that the music is copycatted, they're making videos that are also artificially generated. This is all about money. It's a big money grab. It's a huge money grab. I mean, we can just sit in an office and we can just come up with, plug this song in, plug that song in, now make me something that's similar to that about, I don't know, country music's popular right now. A Tear in My Beer, but about heartbreak. Make it about that and make it like this and make it like that. It's gross. You're gross. You're gross. You're gross. For what? For what? What will be left of us? Fake music, fake food, fake bodies, fake faces, fake. Everything is fake. Can you tell I'm struggling with it? I am struggling with it. Can we just be real? I understand technology is here and I think tools are great. But you're pushing it. You're pushing it a little too far here when you're taking credit for something you did not labor over. And I'm sorry, if you feel called out by this, I'm sorry. But you need to really evaluate what you're doing. There's people who are making social media posts with AI generated versions of themselves, and then they're taking compliments on it. You look great. That's not you. That's not you. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? It's crazy, you guys. This is crazy. Stay real. Please, stay real. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Welcome back. I'm so sick of the fakeness, you guys. Everything's fake. So here's another story about kind of this same issue that we're dealing with here. Fake news, right? Donald Trump coined the term fake news. Boy, who knew how dead on he was? You know, not only is it fake news where they're looking you right in the eye and they're lying to you, like CNN and these network news type, but it's also like they use real news, but they fakely generate how popular that news is. You know what I'm saying? So like, like I said, I don't think he had any idea. He was probably saying like, fake news because they lie about him all the time. But like really, truly fake news. Like fake news. Like who do you really think that many people cared about Dave Portnoy's little episode on the street in front of a pizza place? Because I'll tell you, there are wars going on all over the world, There are wars going on. We have a massive problem with artificial intelligence, like a really massive problem where we're going to start to see mental illness at heights you have never. You think it's bad now? Wait till your brain can't distinguish stuff and you lose the thread to reality. Because that's what's happening to young people, especially because they're not as grounded in reality as we are. They've grown up on this stuff and they are starting to... Oh, gosh, they are starting to, because AI is taking over creativity, they are starting to try to identify with something unique by having a disease. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they would rather be seen as disabled than put in the work to be something unique. You know what I mean? Like they would, like somebody like, a really great artist, like just even go back to U2, right? There's a lot of work. And U2 is U2. They're famous for being U2. They started as teenagers. I mean, the body of work is extensive. They didn't get there overnight. There was a lot of yucky bars that they played in. There was a lot of mud, the saying goes, no mud, no lotus, right? There was a lot of mud to get to where they are. And, I'm sure they got some help along the way, but you know what I'm saying? You got to do the time in order to get the result. And because younger people are not finding their way to creativity, because there's no space for creativity. What can you be creative about when your thought is being made for you? Because you're TikTok. New thought. There's no space for your own thought. There's no space for your own thought. And so how do I get special? What's special about me? Oh, my medical diagnosis. Like, do you see where this is headed? Like, you think it's bad now? Why would anyone put in the time and the effort and the labor of like being a creative and like, that line sucks, rub that out, do it again, play it again, record that again. That's not what I wanted. I want it like, who wants to go through all that when you can, hey, AI, write me a song about how I'm heartbroken. Make it in the country style. Oh, I love that. Hey, everybody, I wrote a song. Do you see? Like, it's disturbing, to say the least. If you want to be extraordinary, you're going to have to work to be extraordinary. Everybody has something extraordinary about them. But you got to put in the work to become extraordinary at something. And what's happened is our young people are so just disjointed that they'd rather take on a medical diagnosis to be extraordinary than create and take the risk of being a creative. It's a big risk. A lot of vulnerability. Somebody might call you a bad name. Somebody might say you suck. Why would I, No one's going to make fun of me if I have a disease. Even if it is a made-up disease. I can just be a cat. That will make me extraordinary. I'm going to wear these ears. I'm going to wear these tails. And I'm going to start using a litter box. That makes me extraordinary. Oh, yeah, it makes you extraordinary, all right. Oh, you can't say that. Oh, I'm so done. I'll say whatever I want. And to add another layer to it, it's so predatory because I can just see this like evil character just like rubbing their hands like, yes, come to me. I'll give you some pills and they'll make you feel better. Oh, yes, we can cut your penis off and turn it into a vagina and you'll feel so much better. We'll charge you for that, of course, and you'll be on a lifetime of pharma, but you'll feel so much better. No, you won't. Why don't you write a song about how disjointed you feel? Why don't you write a book about it? Why don't you labor over the story? Our biggest pains, very much, I believe, they become our biggest purpose. Why don't you labor over figuring that out instead of just going the easy route? I'll take a pill for that. I'll cut this off and then I'll be better, or I'll just invent something like it's not that hard to pin on a cat tail and put on some ears. Not that hard, but you sure are extraordinary. Get a lot of attention for that. A serious problem here. We have a serious problem here. AI is trying to replicate our art. Art is all about the human experience, and you're asking a machine to tell us about your human experience for money. Anything for money. I mean, who cares? Get your bag, girl, right? Get your cash. You gotta do it. I mean, you gotta do it. Do you? What won't people do now for money? I question that. Are we at the point where we're just like truly like just we'll do anything for money? I mean, people are famous for no reason at all, right? They're famous for selling crap. That's the Kardashians. They're famous. They are super consumers, and they produce consumerism. You know what I mean? Like, they're just super consumers. They just consume. Their show is about watching them consume. Like, it kind of like blows your mind when you think about it. How, you know, they go from one mansion to the next mansion. Not that I've ever watched an episode, but of course my feed has been infiltrated by their videos, even though I don't follow any of them. That's interesting. You know, and, you know, I don't know. We've got people talking about this topic and that topic. And there's a small group of people that get the platforms to talk about the news. And, you know, and I was looking at some of this stuff, and I just thought, you are so disconnected from the average person. You know, some of these commentators that have, you know, the stage to be a talking head about politics or whatever, you are so disconnected. I'd rather hear the news from my neighbor at this point than a lot of these commentators. This was interesting. So not only is the news itself fake, but the reason why you're seeing it is fake. And there's, you probably heard of him, you know, this guy, Nick Fuentes. He's a younger guy, and everybody's labeled him an anti-Semite and basically the Antichrist, I think. But it's funny because he's getting a lot of views, and they're not on YouTube, where the algorithm is controlled. No. He had to go to Rumble, and he gets a lot of views even on Rumble. To get a lot of views on Rumble is like really hard, because it's not where everybody goes. Everybody goes to YouTube. He's getting a lot of views. Now, is he Semitic, all that stuff? I don't know, but because I haven't listened to him long enough. I don't know. But he sure did nail explaining smears and coordinated smears and the efforts to control what you see. He really explained that perfectly. And I think that the younger generation, the Z generation, they totally know how it works. They know that they're seeing stuff because somebody is paying and manipulating the algorithm or the door to get in there so that they see it. And I think our generation, like X, I think we're just barely starting to catch on to that. And the boomers, I don't think they get it at all. I hate to make that generalization because I know there's some good boomers out there. But they're completely being manipulated. Question everything you see and why you're seeing it. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back with your naturally inspired moment.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Hey, if you buy wellness products, vitamins, if you're after clean soaps, clean cosmetics, you want a clean line where it's been tested. We have some fantastic products, like the omegas I take, for example. They're pharmaceutical grade omegas. Like, they're awesome. I've never had ones that work better. This is a wonderful product line. So if you buy things like that, I'm inviting you to check out our store, naturallyinspiredstore.com, and check out our partnered line of products, because every time you purchase with us, it supports us. It supports the show. It supports the mission to change the medical model in this country, because people are sicker than they ever have been, and they are being sold into fake solutions that create bigger problems. And so we want to connect you to real solutions so that you don't have to go to that predatory model. And when you become a customer, just spend $50 or more, you get to join the Naturally Inspired community. That means you get my Tuesday night weekly wellness workshops. You get my health text line. It's really me. It's not a bot. I have conversations with my people every day, and I love it. And last night we had a great workshop as well. So you get all that just from purchasing $50 worth of product. So go to naturallyinspiredstore.com today. And the last night's workshop, by the way, was awesome. We talked about PTSD and your nervous system. And this is a kind of a two-pronged deal here. It's not just, the thoughts that you have in your mind. This is a nervous system issue as well. It's biological. Right? So it's emotional and it's biological, but everything is, okay? Everything is. It's not just one or the other. You are a synergistic being. If you're experiencing biological disruptions, you're experiencing emotional ones. They go together. Oh my gosh. There's nothing wrong with that, because you're human and that's the way we're wired. Anyway, join us in the Naturally Inspired community. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com today, make a purchase, and I can't wait to welcome you into the community. Let's go to our Naturally Inspired moment today as we're talking about this topic of fake art. I've been just hammering that it's so important that we, dive into our higher faculties, things like being creative, right? Our memory, our intuition, these things are higher faculties, and we can get better. We can improve at these things. And we have an opportunity to do that. It can be hard, though. Like I mentioned with being a creative, it can be hard. You have to learn how to be uninhibited with your art. And it's so deeply personal that it's a very difficult process to do. You got to be brave. You got to have courage around it. And so today I wanted to talk about 5 ways to be the embodiment of who you want to be, like now. Everybody thinks, oh, I got to wait till I have this. I got to wait till I get that. I've got to, I can't do that yet because my circumstances aren't that right now. And I'm telling you, if you wait till your circumstances are right, if you wait till you have that thing or you have this thing, you're never going to do it. Start now. Start now. You have to be the embodiment of who you want to be in order to become that person. So, number 1, here's how you do it. Because how do you do it? Oh, imposter syndrome. I'm not that. They'll think I'm a fake. But I know all these thoughts. I've been through them. I know them. I know it. You're not the first person to feel that way. Everybody feels that way. You got to push through it. I can't talk about health because I'm not the healthiest. And, I got a little extra weight here. I can't talk about that. I'm not here to give anybody. Stop. You never will be. You're never going to be perfect. You will be unique, though. And your delivery, what you produce, what you create, I guarantee you it will inspire somebody else. And that's the whole point. The point is not to be perfect. The point is to inspire other people. Because when we're all working, we're inspired and we're working towards purpose, guess what happens? Those higher faculties. So here's how you do it. Because how do you do this, right? How do you do this when you feel like, oh, I'm not that. I'm not an artist. I'm not a writer. I'm not a fill in the blank, right? I felt this way like when we moved to the farm because I didn't grow up on a farm, right? And I got all these like old school farmers around me and I'm like here on my little 5 acres and I'm like, I'm kind of an imposter here. I'm not really a farmer. You live on a farm now, girl. You better get it together. You better get it together. And that's what you do. You just kind of get it together. And then you keep going. I've done a lot of things around here that I would say make me now a mini farmer. I'm not a big scale farmer. I can catch a chicken. I know how to make chickens lay eggs. I know how to plant things. I know how to grow things. I know how to herd cattle. I've even grabbed a bull by its horns, quite literally. So I don't know what more you need. But I get that feeling because you don't know. So here's what you do. You got to feel it first because your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. And when you feel the peace, the confidence or joy that you want, your body starts to believe it's already true. This is so powerful when it comes to a healing journey. You've got to remember a point in time where you felt so good. You had tons of energy. Maybe it was back when you were an athlete, you were young, wherever, it doesn't matter. But your brain remembers that feeling. So you've got to start reintroducing that feeling before you feel it, right? You've got to manufacture it. Oh yeah, remember when I did that? Like go there in your mind because you are driving the body, the biology. Your brain is driving the biology. If you stay in low down in the dumps mode, I feel crappy, man, my back hurts, man, my ankle hurts, but you're going to get more of that. Even if it's just 2 minutes a day where you force your brain to live in the space, the memory of feeling well, that's where you start. Because you are reacquainting those neural pathways. We're going this way now. We're going this way. I'm going to teach you how we're going to feel. Number 2, practice, don't pretend. You're not an imposter. You're new. You're training your nervous system to align with your future self. Every small act in that energy builds new pathways of belief. It's not about being a poser. Everybody feels like an imposter when you start something new. Can I really do this? Like, I've never done this before. Can I do this? Well, we're going to find out, right? Maybe you're not the best at it the first time. Oh, shocker. How are you ever going to get there? The difference between you and a professional or, somebody who is practiced. That's the difference. That's the only difference. You don't have enough practice yet. So get your reps in. Start practicing. Number 3, show up as if. I mean that. It matters. Speak, walk, and decide from the place you want to be, not the place you're standing now. This is a powerful one for addiction because addiction runs on a loop. Oh God, I did that. I've seen it. People replay the tapes in their head. Oh, I shouldn't have done. Oh gosh, and then shame. No. You've got to speak, walk, and decide from the place you want to be, not the place you're standing now, and certainly not the place you were standing a year ago. Action rewires identity faster than thought. So speak like somebody who is no longer an addict. Walk like somebody who's no longer an addict. Decide that that's the place you want to be and act like it. Normalize uncertainty. Everyone feels unsure in new territory. Discomfort doesn't mean you're off track. It means you're expanding. That is so true. Discomfort doesn't mean you're off track. And I think some people use that as a scapegoat. Well, it didn't go that well, so, I should probably quit. No, you should probably practice. You should probably practice. Number 5, choose embodiment over environment. So circumstances do not define you. Your circumstances are not your identity. Stop using your circumstances as part of your identity, because they aren't. Circumstances change all the time, and they can change at the drop of a dime. We all know it. You may be, say, worried about money today. Maybe you've got a financial problem and you're worried about money today, but I guarantee you, if someone you loved got into a car accident, you wouldn't be worried about money today. Use contrast. Use contrast. Because that'll set you right? You've got to use it. Choose embodiment over your environment. Circumstances don't define you. Your energy does. So when you lead with who you want to be, life starts to mirror that back to you. So true. It does totally mirror back to you. When you think about it, just think about it. Think about some of the people you've hung out with in the past, right? And what kind of things were going on there. Was that the best environment for you? Just think about some of the, jobs that you've had or whatever, where you're just really miserable. Every day you go to work and you're miserable there and you're wondering why you're miserable. You're not looking at it from the right lens. It's temporary. If you're miserable there, it's temporary. Going in with a little bit of gratitude, like, geez, I'm really glad I have this job. I can pay my bills. I can earn from it. And I wonder where this is going to lead me. Because it's always leading you somewhere. Confidence comes from repetition. The more you show up as who you're becoming, the more natural it feels. Repetition turns practice into a presence. And that's how you embody it. It is your very presence. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. You're about to experience hour 2 of Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm so glad you're here. In the first hour, we've been talking about this artificial intelligence, this AI-generated art. I can't even call it art. It's I don't know what it is. Okay, it's machine-generated noise, machine-generated, whatever. But it's insulting. It's insulting to artists. I feel it's insulting to us as humans. There are some things that I think we just gotta, really, are we just not going to play instruments in the future? Because what's going to make you want to learn an instrument if the computer can simulate the guitar part that you're wanting? We got a lot to lose here. Like, are we going to read in the future? Or are we just going to give up reading too? Are we just going to let the computer do all our thinking for us? And what, we're just going to be here like big fat, blobs like Wall-E? That movie Wall-E, do you remember that? I remember watching that and being so disturbed by that. We just live a life of leisure and float around because our feet are so fat we can't even walk. mean? Like, it's feeling like that could be a real possibility. And we lose the capability to walk because we have so much convenience. And we don't think anymore because we consume so much generated content that we don't need to have thoughts because we can just focus on this. It's a scary thought, but I actually think that that's happening already. We've seen a few articles out in mainstream in the last couple of years where it's exploring this idea that people do not experience an inner dialogue. And I could see possibly why that's happening. Because we have a conscious mind and we have a subconscious mind. If your conscious mind is being fed information, like spoon-fed information via TikTok videos and Instagram and, consumption and TV and like just constantly, then are we going to lose the capability to generate our own thought? It's a legit question. Because if you're consuming all the time, then where's the space to be creative? Where's the space to, think about things? I mean, just as a kid, in my generation, we had so much time to think about things, right? Because we didn't have entertainment devices in our pockets. So when your parents went into the grocery store and you had to wait in the car, you were playing games with your sister or whatever. You were inventing things, inventing games, inventing weird languages, playing games, made up games on the spot. Like you had to entertain yourself. And we know that kids are getting to the point where they're incapable of that because they're being pushed around in grocery store carts with screens to entertain them. They have TVs in the backs of the cars. Like, you don't use it, you lose it. And I'm just asking here, we care about Dave Portnoy and this whole, ridiculousness, but we're not having this incredibly important conversation about artificial intelligence and our consciousness and how this is going to impact humanity. But, be mad. Oh, this person, like, it's really interesting how we are at a point in our culture where so much is happening. And yet we're talking about nothing. We're talking about, this is going on in politics and that's politics. And you know what? It's all fabricated. It's all fake. It's all fabricated. It's all fake. I think stop looking at it. Stop looking at it and start having some really critical conversations with people around you. What do you think of AI? What do you think of that? Are you concerned about it? What about this? What are you willing to give up musicians? Like, who are your favorite musicians? Okay. How would your life be if you didn't have that in your life? Like, I don't know. Let's just see where these conversations go. But not talking about it is weird. It's really weird. It's really weird. Even like, are we going to have a discussion about not driving anymore? Like not driving. I can't tell you, like, that's like, it's going to be really interesting because there was an absolute difference. Like I remember the day, well, first of all, I remember the day I got my own driver's license because it's like a whole new world of independence. Totally changes your life in the Western world. And it did the same for my kids. So are we going to have that conversation, or is it just, no, we're just going to go straight to autonomous driving? You know? I want to talk about culture because irrational paid influencers and people who hate your country, they're always trying to convince you that you don't have any culture. So I'm here to remind you that you absolutely do have culture, and that it's actually very cool. So culture is the shaped pattern of beliefs, values, behaviors, customs, language, art, and social norms that define a group of people. And it's essentially how we do things around here. So I want to bring to your attention today about food. Because I think everybody thinks, oh, America doesn't have any culture when it comes to food. Like, ooh, it's just hamburgers and hot dogs. No, it isn't, actually. No, it isn't. That came much, much later. And that was a result of convenience foods and consumerism. And that's okay. That's a part of our culture. You know, consumerism and convenience is definitely part of our culture, more than I would like it to be right now. But that doesn't define our culture around food entirely. No, I think you'll find that, you know, yes, we're a land of immigrants, right? We're a new founded country. People came from other places to make up this country. But once they got here, they did things differently. And the reason why they did things differently is because this land provided differently. This mechanism of government acted differently. There were different opportunities. People were free to be creative and to be creators. And they did precisely that. They became Americans. They may have come from somewhere else, but they started living like Americans. Take a listen to this about one of your favorite dishes.
But this slurpy, twirly delight was actually created by Italian immigrants after they arrived in America in the late 1800s. Between the years of 1880 to 1920, over 4 million Italians immigrated to the U.S., the majority of which came from southern Italy. Before immigrating to America, many poor Italians could not afford the large portions of meat needed to make a plate of the jumbo-sized meatballs we know today, and so bigger meatballs became a sign of increasing wealth. Traditional Italian meatballs were small, typically the size of marbles, and usually eaten alone or in soups, and pastas were not traditionally considered a main course. They were more of an appetizer. Italian-American immigrants paired spaghetti with their newly massive meatballs to fit the Anglo-American standard of having a starch with dinner, topped the dish with marinara sauce originally from Naples, and presto.
Did you know that spaghetti was American? Yes, the immigrants that came here to become Americans, they took a little bit of what they knew and they made it better because they could, because they were now in America. And food in America during the 1800s tells the story of a young growing nation shaped by agriculture and self-sufficiency. It was a time before refrigeration, industrial farming, or processed foods, when nearly every meal was seasonal, homegrown, and or locally traded. So here's how it looked in the 1800s. It was actually the first farm to table. The first farm to table. Because most Americans lived on farms and in small towns, eating what they grew, eating what they hunted, eating what they preserved. So typical staples, beans and salted pork, root vegetables like potatoes, turnips, carrots, onions, beets. They made their own bread. They baked it in hearth ovens and sourdough and yeast starters. Isn't that interesting? Because sourdough and homesteading, which is American, homesteading's American. And we're like, there's a return to it. And I find that so interesting. I think because we have gotten so far removed from our roots that we're actually craving them. We feel like we just want to get back to basics. And it's in your genes to want to get back to basics in this way because it's your culture. It's your culture. I run into so many people nowadays that are like, man, I wish I had a little farm like yours. We have people that drive out here and just sit in front of our pasture and watch our cows. Where do you think that's coming from? You're being called home. You're being called back to the real. Butter, milk, cheese, all made by hand from family cows. Maple syrup was a primary sweetener. Honey, molasses, that was what they used back then. As settlers moved west, meals became more rugged and resourceful. So salt pork, jerky, dried beef for long journeys, biscuits and hardtack, which is a simple flour biscuit that kept for months. Beans and coffee, lard, wild game, flapjacks, ash cakes. And they foraged foods like dandelion greens, nuts, mushrooms. It goes on and evolves. Who do you think developed the first drive-through? Like American Graffiti drive-through. Well, right here in America. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Get your wellness products with us at naturallyinspiredstore.com. We've got multivitamins, we've got omegas, we've got shakes, we've got EWG certified clean products, environmental working group, clean products. Take the guesswork out of it. Why bother standing in an aisle trying to go through all of the ingredients of everything when you can pick your products at home, right? Pick them and just get them delivered. You know that they're clean and you know that it's purposeful spending because every time you spend with us, you're supporting this message of changing the medical model, helping connect people to real solutions for health, taking the toxins out of your lifestyle. It's win-win across the board. And Jason and I, we don't do anything that isn't win-win. That is just one of our things. It's got to be win-win because we believe in that's the way it should be. And so this is the way we've chosen to do it. And it works well for everybody. And so we invite you to join us in the Naturally Inspired community. Don't forget, you'll get our weekly wellness workshops. Last night's was a good one. And you'll get my health text line, which is, I'm talking to people all day long, every day. Where can I find this? What do you think about that? I'm sending information. I'm connecting them to the real solutions for health, giving you an alternative from, a very predatory health system. So join us today, naturallyinspiredstore.com. I found this whole food thing really interesting. I think in another life, I must have been like a food anthropologist, because I am fascinated with like, why do we make things the way we make things? Like, and also the tradition of recipes, you know, I still make all my mom's stuff. You know, I want to make sure that my kids know this is a way your grandma made this, you know, so they know who they are. I'm telling you, it's very important that we know who we are. Because when we don't know who we are in the past, like we don't know where we come from, we have a difficult time connecting to our own purpose in life. You got to know a little bit about where you come from in order to know a little bit about where you're going. It's just the way we're wired as humans. And so I find this stuff really interesting. It's so interesting because everybody's making sourdough. Everybody wants chickens. Everybody wants, because they're robbing you of your culture. They're trying to cancel your culture. And you're not having it. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Your ancestors worked for this. It wasn't easy. So preserve it and understand it and dive into it, embrace it. Don't let other people tell you that you don't have it. Your skin doesn't need to be a certain color in order to have culture. Okay? Everybody has culture. I found it interesting too that the homesteading thing, you know, I don't know if everybody knows about homesteading anymore, but I found it really interesting because I actually live on a homestead. It got whittled down to these 5.5 acres or so that we're on. But at one point, this was 160 acre parcel of free land. I've got the homestead certificate up in my kitchen. And homesteading, this is what it meant. So the term homestead became official with the Homestead Act of 1862. It offered 160 acres of free land to anyone willing to move west, build a home, and farm the land for at least 5 years. This act opened up millions of acres across the Great Plains and the West, from Nebraska, Kansas, to the Dakotas, Montana, and beyond. Homesteaders were the original off-gridders. They built cabins by hand, grew and preserved their own food, dug wells, and raised livestock. Pretty hard work. So I think you'd be safe if you described your culture as hardworking and innovative, right? Like with the spaghetti and meatballs, you know, okay, meatballs came from Italy, but you know, why didn't they stay there? They saw opportunity. Those people, they saw opportunity. Let's go to America. Once you get here, things are different. And so they did things differently because they could. And I think that's cool. And that is your culture. That is your culture. When people come to America, they innovate. That's part of the culture here. They don't bring their old culture and say, oh, everybody's got to do this here now. No, that's not part of it. Okay, let's get on to some news stories because there's some other stuff you need to know about for sure. The World Economic Forum, whatever that thing is, it's almost like it's a government, right? It's like it's a world government. No, it's not a world government. This group has no power. You don't know. This is the World Economic Forum. We're just here exchanging ideas. Are ya? Is that what you're doing? Well, check this out because they've announced now that digital ID is going to be needed for social networks. Take a listen.
To anonymity on social media. In our countries, no one can walk the streets with a mask on their face or drive a car without a license plate. No one can send packages without showing an ID or buy a hunting weapon without giving their name. And yet, We are allowing people to roam freely on social networks without linking their profiles to a real identity. This paving the way for misinformation, hate speech, and cyber harassment, because it is facilitating the use of bots, and it is allowing people to act without being held accountable for their actions. Such an anomaly cannot continue. In a democracy, citizens have the right to privacy, not to anonymity or impunity, because with those two, social coexistence would be impossible. That is why I believe we must push forward the principle of pseudonymity as the functioning element of social media, and force all these platforms to link every user account to an European digital identity wallet. This way, citizens could use nicknames if they want, but in the case of a crime, public authorities would be able to connect those nicknames to real people and hold them responsible. Because accountability is not an obstacle to freedom of speech. It is an essential complement to it.
I got some questions about that. Define crime. Because of course we all, we want criminals to, be prosecuted and held to the highest letter of the law. Of course we do. I mean, we would prefer that, we caught all the people on the Epstein list. I mean, I think we can all agree. We definitely want people who are doing, horrific things to be caught and put in jail. But the problem is that they're not. Right? Like, we have this dual society where people who, yesterday I played you a clip from Lauren Southern who, she was put on a no-fly list. But as soon as she knew somebody in the administration, she says, as soon as she knew somebody, she had somebody to call in the administration to say, hey, I'm on a no-fly list. Could I not be? Suddenly she wasn't. So are we all going to get like a number to call? Because define crime. We're seeing people in the UK who are being tried criminally for, making jokes and memes online. So who will be the policer of digital crime? And because that could be a real problem, right? You could probably see how that might be a problem. I think everybody can see how that might be a problem. I like how he said, too, we're going to force social media platforms to implement this digital identity wallet. Digital identity wallet. It's a wallet. I have more than one thing in my wallet. I don't know about you guys, but, a wallet is something that holds multiple things. And so, I've been saying this for a long time. Your digital identity is not just about like your bank account and I don't know, maybe your ability to get online. Nope. This ties directly to your health. And then, when you have everything centralized in your digital wallet, well then, like, what happens when you just don't feel like taking the medication that your doctor told you had to take? Could that become a, bit of information that could be weaponized against you? Of course not. I mean, come on. That's totally conspiratorial. Who would even ever think of that? Who would ever even think of that? That is just conspiracy theory, you idiot. But what about the Canadian truckers, though? What about that whole thing where, the people who wanted to donate to them, they donated and then they got their bank accounts frozen? No! That was criminal. Oh, it was criminal? Yeah, it was criminal. That's why. They must have done something. Well, define something. Because at some point, I guarantee you, If you are for this, if you are for the mass digital surveillance, I can guarantee you at some point, whether it is 2 days after, 2 years after it gets implemented, 20 years, however long, there's going to be something you just don't agree with. There's going to be something. There'll be something. Maybe you don't want to take the new mRNA upgrade. Maybe the last one you had didn't go over so well, and you just know that that's probably a problem. You're not going to have that choice. Get smart, people. Get smart fast. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Crazy times. Let me tell you, it's almost hard to imagine, what the future is going to look like. It feels so like, I tell you, there's a pattern here. And I've been talking about the pattern now for years. The pattern is whatever occurs, naturally in nature there's a fake version of it. There's a fake version of it. And we're getting less and less able to access nature. They want to take away your beef and feed you fake beef. You want it seems like all of nature, just quite honestly, all of God's things, they're being synthesized and they're fake. They're fake. They're fake. Fake music, fake people, fake everything. And it's a pattern. Fake seeds, like it started in agriculture. It really did. When they started manipulating soils and manipulating seed. Everybody knows about the, documentaries that were made about Monsanto where, farmers were getting sued for Monsanto seed blowing into their pasture and blowing into their crops. And, and then Monsanto was charging them, They patent seed and you can't, grow this unless you've paid us our premium. Seeds were here for everybody. But they're not anymore. Right? They've been synthesized. They've been spliced. They've been manipulated. And now they're under patent. And by golly, if you happen to grow somebody else's seed, you're going to jail. But the seeds themselves, they were here. They were here. And it just feels like it just gets more and more intrusive every day. I mean, the act of creativity, right? We don't really know where it comes from. We don't know why people are drawn to creating the things that they're drawn to. We don't know that process, but we feel it. And we feel that it connects us as human beings. And they want to cut that off. Let's synthesize it. You don't need to make art. You don't need to read. You don't need to play instruments. Let the AI do it. I think I know now when, some of them were, I heard stories and people were like, oh, it's they worship AI like AI is their God. Yeah. Like AI created it all. No, AI is stealing it all. And we actually programmed it. It's a weird, thought, but we're actually living it out. Everything is fake. And charity, you guys, is no different, unfortunately. I've been onto this for a long, long time. Do you ever notice everywhere you go now? Give us a little bit, give us a little bit, give us round up for charity, round up for this society, round up for that society. There's a great documentary called Charity Inc. I think you can watch it for free right now, actually, on any of the platforms. Charity Inc. It's very interesting. It really, opened my eyes up to a lot of this industry. And that's exactly what it is. The industry of charity. And health is weaponized in this industry, I think, more than anything else. Your health, right? Because, you feel so bad for the people that have diseases. And, we have the American Breast Cancer Foundation, and we have the American Foundation for Disabled Children, and all the foundations, It's all money. It's all about creating an entity that gets a charitable designation. They don't have to pay taxes. The people who work for it make the money. They make a lot of money. And the cause, it's kind of secondary. And so Tampa Bay Times and CIR Investigation, they have a list of some of the worst charities out there. But I would say, you know what? If it's a big, big, big old charity, I don't give to it. Because here's the truth behind most charity. The American Association of State Troopers, about 8% of what they collect goes to supporting state troopers. American Association of the Deaf and Blind, 0.1% of its donations actually, make it to people. There's some big ones on here too, like Children's Cancer Fund of America, they about 5%. Cancer Fund of America, less than 1%. Some of these are zero, which is interesting, right? So American Foundation for Children with AIDS, 0% of what they collect gets it to the people. 0%. I mean, that's pretty. Defeat Diabetes Foundation, 0.1% actually, reach the people. Disabled Police Officers Counseling Center, 0.1%. Survivors and Victims Empowered, 0%. So you're just giving money. You're just giving money to these foundations because of the perception of them. The National Cancer Coalition, 1%. 1%. Project Cure, 0%. How about eradication of rheumatoid disease? 0%. Find the Children, 5%. Firefighters Burn Fund, 1.5%. Heart Support of America, Hope Cancer Fund, 0.5%. And these are the worst. right? These are the worst, but I would say, some of the bigger ones too, with the amount of money that they are bringing in. You're talking some of these cancer ones, and the ones I'm talking about, they are bringing in billions and giving out a small percentage of those monies. Check out and just, look up how much these CEOs of these health charities specifically, how much they make a year. Like the American Heart Association. It's just a way to make money. It's like a laundering type of operation. Many of these charities. Not to mention, not only is it just like, okay, if you're going to launder money, I guess, like that seems like a terrible thing to do, but when you're talking about like foreign aid and some of these foreign aid operations, or even this idea of like a capitalist philanthropy, right? Where you partner, like, oh, I'm a capitalist, but also I'm all about philanthropy. Well, that's a nice tax shelter. And like, I'll never forget the story of understanding Toms, right? That's in the movie, the movie I was just talking about too, Charity Inc. So, everybody thinks, oh, and especially like I was saying, like some of these talking head anchors and news and stuff like that, like they're so incredibly detached from reality and like how most people live. Like they're like, you've had your own TV show, you're like, and then you're like, oh, I'm standing on the sidelines. I'm not really going to comment on this or that. And, shut up. Like you don't even, it's irritating because you don't even really know what's going on. And there's so many out there right now like that because, media has changed. And so everybody's trying to pick up the pieces because they can't work for a network anymore and get the types of views that, that people get just online. And so it's changing, but yet these people come from this totally different like lifestyle and they just don't get it. And so they'll prop up things like, oh, this is such a fantastic idea. This capitalist philanthropy, this is, oh, we're going to buy these shoes. And, to get back to the Tom's story, is Tom's was a shoe company that went really, really popular. And it was based on this idea that, buy one, give one. And he was, every time, somebody in America bought a pair of Tom's, he was sending a pair of Tom's overseas to put shoes on poor kids or poor people in foreign places. And the truth behind it was that the shoes he was sending, they were ruining the economy, the local economy of these places, because there were many cobblers and shoemakers in these small towns and villages. And shoes were abundant because Tom's was sending them. And those are the things we don't really think about. I want to talk about charity and giving a little bit more when we come back. Stay tuned.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
telling you, your kindness, your willingness to give and to be charitable, it's part of your culture. It's part of being American. It's in you. That's just like what you know to do. But what I'm saying is that it's being weaponized against you. And people are profiting off of your kindness in a very point-blank evil way. I want to share this last clip with you before we go into our health topic, because there's a new movie coming out, I believe, and this is like a little excerpt from it that I wanted to share with you, just about the state of where we're going and going fast. Watch this.
The lust to control other human beings is a story as old as time. There's a very strong drift in the direction of globalization, of the ultimate centralization of control in the hands of unelected officials at supranational organizations.
They want all of the resources of the world in their pocket.
The bigger picture is that an attempt is underway now to collapse liberal democracy and replace it with global technocracy.
This is a coup. They're saying we can control with rules. We don't need currency anymore.
It's like an inverted prison. You are supposedly free to roam about, but everything you want to access is behind lock and key.
The potential for social control is gigantic and potentially irreversible.
They plan to commandeer land, reduce farming, and radically change the food we eat, transform the supply of electricity, and then dictate how we use it, and replace currency with a system of credits. All three strategies are built on the premise of a climate crisis caused by carbon dioxide.
I do not think there's a climate crisis, and I base that on all the evidence and the climate data sets that we build to answer questions just like that. The government is very clear that they want a catastrophic story.
There is no single science paper that proves conclusively that humans control all or most of the global climate.
Europe's mad dash towards net zero is effectively economic suicide. Politicians are purposely impoverishing ordinary people, purposely deindustrializing Europe.
And they're going to suck every bit of energy out of you in order to power this new way of life, this new digital revolution that is far bigger than any revolution we've ever experienced, like the Industrial Revolution, or, this is way different. And it will change almost, it's almost, you can't even quantify the things that it's going to change. And the climate cult is at the base of that. So, look through the lens of that every time you are being asked to give, save this, save that. It's time we stop letting them weaponize the kindness and the charity in American culture. It's actually being weaponized against us. But I want to get to our health topic today because there's an epidemic of autoimmune disease. Everybody knows that. Autoimmune, that's something I never even heard of as a kid, right? And now it seems like everybody has some sort of autoimmune disease. So I want to talk about, just like from a functional medicine and holistic perspective, the explosion of autoimmune disease, because it has exploded, and it isn't random. It isn't random. It's a reflection of deep imbalance in our lifestyle. It involves gut, it involves our stress, it involves physiology, our nervous system, and of course, that's all driven by our lifestyle. And that has created a huge disruption in our bodies. So the loss of immune tolerance, which is the root cause of autoimmunity. Autoimmune disease happens when the immune system can no longer function by distinguishing self from non-self. This is why a lot of people say, oh, my body turned against me. My body started eating itself. No, not really. Not really. Everything coming from the body is communication. And in a functional medicine view, this type of autoimmune communication is the result of chronic cumulative insults that overstimulate and confuse your immune system. So things like leaky gut, right? Leaky gut, I talk about a lot, especially when we're in assessments. Leaky gut is when your gut, you have this permeability to your gut, where you have these small perforations that leak the stomach contents out into your body. Of course, your stomach's supposed to be sealed, but when you eat plastic and you eat chemicals, you get these tiny little perforations in your gut lining, and those are foreign invaders coming out of your stomach. In your body's point of view, this is a foreign invader, and so it sends out an autoimmune response to take care of the foreign invader. It's trying to save you. It's trying to save you. Nutrient deficiencies, chronic infections or hidden pathogens, toxic overload, too much exposure, including EMF, dysregulated stress hormones, poor sleep. When these stack up, the immune system starts misfiring. It attacks thyroid tissue. It'll attack your joints like rheumatoid arthritis. You get skin issues like eczema or rosacea. You get brain fog. And so it's a problem because your gut cells, or what's coming out of your gut, is being perceived as a foreign invader. Dysfunction and microgut biome crisis. So the gut immune connection is now undeniable. About 70% of the immune system lives in your gut. Modern society, we have several factors that have disrupted the harmony inside of our guts. Overuse of antibiotics. If you grew up in the 80s, you had an overuse, I guarantee it, especially, from when you were a kid. And also in the food supply itself, like in dairy and whatnot. Processed foods, this also very damaging to our gut lining. And then we have the pesticides, the things like glyphosate. They act as an antimicrobial and they disrupt our gut microbiome. Also, the lack of fermented foods. If you go back to our American culture segment and homesteading and the way we were living back then, there was a need for fermented foods because of preserving. And so we ate more preserved foods, and that they were fermented, and that's needed for the gut microbiome. And then there's the whole issue of our soil, what our food is being grown in. That also is needed. That beneficial microbes in the soil is needed for our gut microbiome. But again, I have to point out to you, we've been severed from nature. Like we can just synthesize God's model and everything's going to work out fine. It's not working out fine. 76% of Americans are walking around with disease, chronic illness. That's a crisis. That's a crisis. So leaky gut, which is just intestinal permeability, allows proteins, toxins, and bacteria to enter the bloodstream. It triggers systemic inflammation and molecular mimicry, where the immune system mistakes body tissue for foreign invaders. Environmental toxins and chemical exposures, big culprit here. Since World War II, over 80,000 synthetic chemicals have entered our environment. That could be a problem. Functional medicine links chronic toxic exposure to immune dysregulation. Things like heavy metals, mercury, lead, aluminum. We were talking about chemtrails yesterday. Like there's not going to be a consequence to showering the population with chemicals. Plastics, phthalates, those things I was telling you about why your laundry detergent smells so great. Phthalates create that. They're toxic to your body. Flame retardants. Remember when they soak furniture in flame retardant, and then we inhale that. Like it's cleaning chemicals, fragrances, pesticides, herbicides. These compounds accumulate in our fat tissue. They alter hormone signaling, they damage mitochondria, and they confuse immune recognition. And then we have the industrial food and the breakdown of ancestral nutrition. So the modern diet, high in processed grains, high in carbohydrates, high in sugar, high industrialized oils and additives. We lack omega-3s in our diet. We lack trace minerals like zinc, selenium, magnesium. We're lacking vitamins A, D, E, K, and K2, antioxidants, and phytonutrients and polyphenols. This nutrient gap weakens the immune system's regulatory mechanisms, increasing oxidative stress and inflammation, which is the perfect breeding ground for autoimmune triggers. And then we have the emotional component. We have chronic stress and adrenal dysfunction. So chronic cortisol elevation is a silent driver. So when stress is ongoing, every day, cortisol first suppresses immunity, then it rebounds with dysregulation, and then inflammation surges. Also the vagus nerve. We talk about the vagus nerve all the time because most people haven't even heard of their vagus nerve. And it is the primary way that you can control and learn to control your nervous system. But it's weak. It impairs immune control. And if you have trauma, if you're a type A personality who likes to be perfect all the time, if you push yourself, if you have over digital stimulation, the immune system lives in fight and flight mode, and that's a problem chronically. There is some hypothesis that talks about modern sanitation, which is like lack of exposure to soil and microbes and lack of exposure to parasites and whatnot. And our immune system never learns to balance. So this hyper-sanitary environment is actually creating problems for us. I think, sanitation was a blessing, and I accredit it to so much of life extension and just being healthier overall. But there's a balance to that, right? You shouldn't be licking hand sanitizer, You got so much hand sanitizer on that your food tastes like hand sanitizer. Like, it's overkill to the point that now it's creating destruction. In the 1800s, children played in dirt, developed microbial resilience. And today, kids grow up in sterile environments. They eat ultra-processed foods wrapped in plastic. They're not outside as much. And it leads to immune overreactivity and a lot of allergies. Hidden infections, circadian disruption, a lot of things go into autoimmune disease. See you tomorrow, everybody. This has been Naturally Inspired Radio.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.